Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about X-Men, Dark Phoenix. Now I know this movie had, out of all the X-Men movies, it's like the weakest link in the box office, and I know there's a lot of criticisms, and I admit, this isn't the best X-Men movie. And by the way, this contains spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, then I advise you get out of this video and then coming back in after you're done watching Dark Phoenix. You've been warned. So, pretty much how this movie starts out with NASA is launching the space station. There's this dark cloud. The X-Men are called in to help. Nightcrawler and Quicksilver gets the crew out of the ship. The captain of the ship still in the ship. So Jean Grey and Nightcrawler teleports into the ship. Jean Grey was trying to help slow down the storm hitting the spaceship, while Nightcrawler got the captain of the ship out. Nightcrawler was successful. Jean Grey got all that cosmic storm inside her, the Dark Phoenix energy, and she blacks out. And then we realized that dark cloud affected her in some. And pretty much her powers are beginning to be too strong for Professor X to control. And this movie kind of does start out with Jean as a girl, and she's in the car, and pretty much it's important to the plot later on that pretty much she's kind of doesn't want that she wants the station to be changed, and it's her in the car with her parents. So she said quiet, and I guess she didn't really realize that she had abilities at the time. Cause she made her mother fall asleep, which essentially made the car crash into this other car. Killing the mother, Jean and her father survived. Professor X said to young Jean Grey, hey, your parents are dead. But it turns out that her father was alive all this time. And so Professor X tries to keep that hidden, but her powers kind of showed her that Professor X kind of liked her about her father being dead. It turns out her father didn't want her, and Professor X said, okay, we'll take her in. We'll teach her how to control her powers, regardless of what you think about her being sick or whatever. So he tries, and he was successful for multiple years, but then Jean Grey is pretty much just afraid of her powers, and she visits her father. She gets mad that she wasn't in any of those pictures that she sees on her father's house, and that's because her father does blame her for her mother's death, which is unfair to do, because Jean Grey, yeah, she might be responsible in terms of she having powers that caused the accident, but it wasn't Jean Grey's fault though, because she couldn't really control her powers. She didn't know how to control her powers, and she was extremely young too, so that was unfair thing to do. And in the trailers, we saw like a hint that Mystique was going to die. She dies in the way we thought she was going to do. Jean Grey pushes Mystique pretty much into a pole. But in this scenario, it's an accident. Jean Grey does not mean to kill Mystique. So she sets off, goes to find Magneto, sorry. the Beast, he gets upset, and him and Professor X kind of gets at it at first, saying, "You need to take responsibility for what you've done, Charles. You were responsible for this. What you did was wrong. Try to hide this from her. What do you expect would happen? Say for you to lie to her about her parents being dead, when in reality only one of her parents died." It's understandable, but at the same time, Beast could have probably said it in a calmer state, but Professor X did kind of provoke the Beast a bit, but... So Jean Grey sees Magneto for help to see how he stopped killing. When Magneto says, "Whose blood do you have on your shirt?" she refused to answer. So, pretty much, the military comes in, because now practically the world knows Jean Grey is dangerous. But they don't know that the Dark Phoenix energy is kind of controlling her. So pretty much, she tries to practically kill the military people. Magneto actually tries to save the military people, saying, "Get in the chopper now, that's just trying to kill you with." They do, and yes, I'm going to make a Star Wars reference, even though I know this is two different things. Magneto uses the Force to push the helicopter out of the sky to get the people of the army to safety. And then Magneto says, "Oh yeah, well, you're getting kicked out, Jean. Goodbye." And so Beast later on comes to the same camp, telling Magneto, Jean killed Mystique. And it finally clicked to Magneto that was the blood on the street that he was asking Jean Grey about, then who blood was that. And so, long story short, Magneto, the Beast, and some of Magneto's followers band together to try to kill Jean Grey, but Professor X, Cyclops, Storm, and Nightcrawler all teams up to prevent Magneto and his followers plus Beast from killing Jean, because that is not something Mystique would have wanted, this version at least, especially since it was literally an accident that Jean Grey did not mean for to happen. And yeah, she didn't have control of her powers, so again, I'm giving that to Jean Grey. And so there's this one alien that believes that Dark Phoenix energy could heal her planet, so she tries to manipulate the Jean. And Magneto ultimately fails at killing Jean, and the Beast as well fails at it too. And Professor X manages to get through what's left of Jean, and Jean tries to transfer her powers to that one alien that believes the Dark Phoenix energy can save her planet, which is what that Storm in Space was early in the movie, where the X-Men was trying to save the astronauts from. And pretty much Jean Grey, if she's transferred all of her powers to this one alien that is manipulative, she would die. And thankfully for her, Cyclops came in, uses laser visions to blast the alien out of the way. And then the military takes the mutants, Magneto, a few of his followers, and the X-Men, and yes, I'm including Beast in this because he's technically part of the X-Men. And they have like power dampening things, so now like objects, now the mutants can't use their powers with these on. And Professor X says, "What happened to Mystique was an accident. that wasn't Jean. The Jean Grey we knew was in there. And Raven, referring to Mystique, wouldn't want us to try to kill Jean. Long story short, the alien was trying to steal the Dark Phoenix powers from Jean. Has followers, and they go on to this train trying to steal Jean. But ends up the military unhooked the power dampening things that the mutants had, and so now it's the mutants and like the military working together to defeat these aliens. And pretty much, long story short, speeding this review up a bit, Professor X manages to wake up Jean, and Professor X apologizes to Jean for trying to hide the truth from her, and she forgives him. And so, pretty much, she takes this alien up in space and lets her get the Dark Phoenix energy transfer into the alien, which kills both this alien and Jean Grey at the same time. Which, to be honest, I thought they were going to use some sort of cop-out to have Jean survive. Kind of like, contradictive what they were saying earlier about if Jean transfers all of her powers to this alien that she would die. But they didn't. I don't know why I was surprised when they killed Jean off. But it did. And then we see towards the end of the movie, practically the Beast is the new professor of the mutant school that Professor X was at the head of. And Professor X is retired and is left off as Professor X and Magneto plays a game of chess, and that's when the movie ends. I thought the movie was pretty decent. For sure, it was not the best X-Men movie. I haven't seen Logan, so I don't know if Logan's the best X-Men movie, which I'm still planning to see, by the way. But to be honest, I do understand a lot of the criticisms that the fans are saying about this movie. And it does appear at times that some of the actors just does not want to be in the movie. And yeah, I can see where fans say that the plot is everywhere, because at times I have seen the plot practically being everywhere. And it felt less organized than it should have. But I didn't really have high expectations of this movie, and that's probably the reason why I am not as hard on this movie as some fans are. I mean, the main reason why I've seen it was, let's be real, there's that little part of me that's a fan crush on Sophie Turner. And I have no problem admitting that. I mean, there's also one thing. Is this was supposed to be a total reboot? Or did, in terms of, did Wolverine, when he changed stuff, in Days of Future Past, when Wolverine went back in time, did he change the timeline to the fact where now that was the outcome of Wolverine going back in time? Or did the Flash go back in time? way too many times that he fucked up the timeline again and caused the death of Mystique and Jean Grey way too soon, because we were supposed to get the death of Jean Grey and Mystique in X-Men The Last Stand. What the hell did he do, Barry? I know you and the X-Men are in two different comic book universes, but you guys class at one point, the company's class at one point, the Justice League and the Avengers both class at one point, but did you fuck up the universe so many times in the Arrowverse that it leaked over to the X-Men? What the hell, Barry? Sorry. But, sorry, it's kind of like a inside joke if you watch the Flash show on the CW. But, long story short, I didn't think this movie was as bad as some fans are saying, but yet again, I didn't have as high of an expectation as most fans had for this movie. And I have no problem admitting that this was not the best X-Men movie. So, is it worth watching? At least one time. In theaters? Up to you. But in my opinion, it's worth watching whether you see it in movie theaters or DVD or Blu-ray. At least once. Only once. I mean, if this movie, if somebody so happens to have it on, then yeah, I will watch it, but the chances of me watching it as many times as I would probably watch, like, Avengers Endgame, or, Star Wars The Force Awakens, or Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, or, Aladdin, the live action, like, as many times as I willingly, on my own, it's not as high as those times. So, anyways, what do you guys think about the movie? I mean, I couldn't really, I'm not that knowledgeable about the whole Dark Phoenix story arc. I know we got that in, X-Men Last Stand, but you know. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about the movie? Did you guys like it or dislike it? Do you guys prefer this one over the Last Stand movie, or Last Stand over the Dark Phoenix movie? And what is your favorite parts and your least favorite parts of this movie? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So, see ya, fellow shadows.